making sandwiches, and it's not just because I'm hungry, but who doesn't love a good sandwich? Not talking about food sandwiches, I'm talking about word salad sandwiches, or what I originally called lie sandwiches. These are something that you see in texts and in emails when you call somebody on their bullshit. And it's not just limited to narcissists. It's everybody. If you remember back to school, however many centuries ago that was, if you're as old as I am, you'll remember being taught how to write a persuasive paper, right? And a lie sandwich or a word salad sandwich kind of sort of follows the same format, where there's an introduction, there's the middle part, and a conclusion, right? This is a highly scientific structure. Yeah, there's a beginning and a middle and an end. You don't say. So I'm glad, I hope you guys can understand the concept of something having a beginning, a middle, and an end. I think we're okay. I think even houseplants have an IQ high enough to get that. The way it's structured is when you call somebody out on their bullshit, you see this triplicate pattern. And they're easy to identify. The way you identify it is, am I irritated? Do I call them out on it? And do I get anything other than a sorry? Right? Do I get anything other than a corrective reaction? Right? That's your metric. If they're doing something that irritates you, if they're doing something dishonest, shady, crooked, semi-crooked, not straight, exponentially curved, fit, polynomial response, and they just not straight with you, chances are it's a diversion, it's an avoidance, it's a manipulation tactic. It is what it comes down to basically is, I'm not going to respect your position. Okay? Because when people respect you, they don't do that. Case in point, if you've ever been a manager, if you've ever been in a leadership position, and you have a subordinate under you, and you see something that they're not quite doing right about their job, and you go and you correct them on it, they don't tell you to fuck off. Well, usually, sometimes they do, and you gotta be like, hey, no, you fuck off, bye, I'm your boss. Well, not anymore, I'm not. Get out. You know, that's the relationship when there's respect. And I've talked about respect before. I've talked about with respect how there's respect and disrespect, but then the third form is the absence of respect there in the middle. And that middle area is where most people float. They're not being outright respectful, but they're not being overtly disrespectful. They're trying to swim around in the gray area in the middle. And so that's what the word salad sandwich is. That's what the lie sandwich is. And I'm going to show you this picture from somebody. This was in a men's group of mine. I like to float around in various circles and various support groups. I don't just limit myself to narcissism. I did in the very beginning because I was trying to understand it because it's irrational. And then once I understood that there's really no understanding it except for the fact it's irrational and not well understandable, that made me relax a little better. But now I run around in other circles. I'm an old dude, so I try to advise young dudes on facts of life. And there's this younger kid in my group, and he was basically saying that he wasn't sure his girlfriend was really had good intentions, to say the least. He was saying that he's seeing this girl, and that every time he sees her, she only comes. The only time she comes around and lets him take her out and all that stuff, without fail, every time it comes around to money, how she needs money or wants to borrow some money, and he never gets his money back. But she's so lovey-dovey. So here, have a look at this conversation. So remember how I've always said that disordered people cannot handle being told no? Well, so that's what we advise this guy to do about this girl. Next time the subject of money comes up, just tell her no. And you can see from the way her response starts that this girl just has absolutely no chill when it comes to being told no. And now she's all like, choke on words, salad. See, if you look at this response of hers, just look, it's just, wow. I can't read this, man. Like, just reading this just gives me a headache, because I'm like, you don't know what punctuation is. And so here I use my badass skills as an artist to draw a piece of bread on the top, because that's the top piece of the sandwich. And then look, in red I've highlighted where she's deliberately attacking, so I can see you using me. Then in green, there's just a bunch of salad. There's just no real point, right? And then she's playing the victim, like, you just come here and brainwash me with the boyfriend and girlfriend thingy. While you know your mission, you playing me. And then right there is, look in blue, where it says, if you really loved me. And that is just so manipulative. And then there's some more word salad. There's just doesn't make any sense. And then when I'm asking you money, because I can see you just using me, and then you start to react, blah, 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 blah. Do I really look that stupid? You sure as hell type like it. And then at the end, if you can't give me, then you're free, so block me, right? So it's like, I know your mission is to use me. Like, who the fuck she thinks you're talking to? Like, it's not Tom Cruise. This ain't Mission Impossible. You're on a mission to use me? Get the fuck out of here, right? I'm on a mission to give you money. Yeah, that's my mission, dumbass. So anyways, I hope this clears things up for you. I hope you'll be able to start recognizing these responses in the future. So a few diagnostic criteria besides the ones in the beginning. First of all, it originates with you. These are things that you don't see until you're aware. And then once you're aware, you still have to prepare. So when somebody's making you mad or upset, or you start to doubt somebody, understand one thing. That little voice in the back of your head, if you're hearing it at all, it's screaming at you, because most of the time you don't hear it at all. Most of the time it's just very subtle. Most of the time that voice in the back of your head is operating in the realm of the subconscious and through insinuation. So if you got a bad feeling and it's just a little bad feeling in the back of your head, understand that is a much bigger deal than you think, because it never gets louder than that, because it doesn't want to. Good Lord, if the voice in the back of your head could scream at you and actually get your attention, like, ah, my God, you would be crazy. They call that schizophrenia. So no, it's never going to get really loud. So never doubt your gut feeling. If you have a small feeling in your gut, it's not a small feeling, it's a big feeling, okay? Because most of the time, you don't feel anything, you don't think about it, but it's still there operating. So its normal mode of operation is to be transparent and to be unnoticeable. I can't really think of the proper word. It's there under some subterfuge and behind the scenes. It's behind the curtain, whatever you want to call it. That's its modus operandi. So if by the time you're irritated with somebody or you think something's up and you confront them, then you must prepare for their response. If you get anything other than, hey, you know what, I'm sorry about that, I really didn't know that I was irritating you. I know that I tend to do this sometimes, and it's something I'm working on. Bear with me, right? Like, for example, my ADHD is something that whenever I let somebody down in an ADHD related manner, And most of the time I don't bring it up because it just sounds like an excuse. And that's something that I've learned over time. Explaining yourself sounds like excusing yourself. So that's another reason why explaining yourself is a bad idea. It's up there with apologizing. Apologizing can be a bad idea. Explaining yourself can be a bad idea. There's a lot of things that we're taught are good ideas that can just flat out be bad ideas. They can be good too. I mean, that's how they got started. But people can manipulate you and work you around to where these things are self-harmful. And we don't recognize it because we've never been in a position where issuing apologies is self-harm, right? You're sitting there scratching your head now, but suddenly I think a lot of shit's about to make sense to you. So, again, to sort of bring this back around, when you're irritated with someone and you tell them, hey, fucko, you're irritating me. If you, the response you should respect, or you should expect, sorry, the expected response is for them to say, oh, hey, sorry, I didn't realize it was irritating you, or something along the lines of, oh yeah, you know what, like, yeah, sorry, I know those things irritate you, and I wasn't being considerate, and I'm sorry, right? Those are the sorts of responses you expect. Those are the kinds of apologies that are healthy, right? Oh, damn, sorry, I wasn't paying attention to feelings. That's my bad. I know that's one of my problems and I need to work on it, right? But the answer to really, really watch out for is the one that makes you more irritated when you hear it. So, I'll say that again. When you're confronting somebody about something that they're doing, and their response irritates you even more, it's time to pull the cord. Jump ship, parachute down, and get out of that relationship. Because from the outset, that means there's no respect. So, you look for, if you're, when you get a long reply, you got to check for that format. But most importantly, and I'll leave you with this, when the problem is their behavior and they respond with a response that only focuses on your behavior and has little to nothing to do with their own behavior except in context to you, that means they're putting it back on you. That means, or they're trying to justify what they're doing, right? They're trying to explain to you. But when you sit down and actually get a response like this, read it and read it and read it and see if it makes rational sense. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. But if it leaves you confused as fuck or more irritated, nah, they're throwing up a smoke screen. They're putting it back on you. And the bottom line is, when they do that, it means they are fully aware of what they are doing. They're fully aware. They know. And they will not change. So thank you very much. Please like, comment, or share, and I'll see you on the next video.